everyone. On this episode of Mismatched, I'm speaking to a woman who I can't believe has taken me this long to sit down with. I'm going to be honest with you. Her name is Brigitte Truong. And now Brigitte has solidified herself as a go-to source in Canada for the latest in lifestyle and entertainment as a multimedia host. See the thing there? We do very similar things. So this is why I can't believe it's taking us this long. So she is a multimedia host, EPK behind the scenes producer, and forward-thinking digital content creator, storyteller. She's been doing this for the past 16 years all over Canada, America, and Asia. She's currently the host of Sister Cities on USA Today. It's fantastic. And CICC in China. She's an executive producer and host of the Homegirl Nation podcast and founder of Rally, a one-day festival of inspiration for today's digital generation. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But first, Brigitte, my freelance sister is what I'm going to say.
Nicole, I've been so looking forward to hanging out today.
Me too.
Thanks for having me.
It's really, I don't know, actually, now that I think about this, I don't know any other freelance like myself that does all the things that you do. And I love it because I like compare freelancing is like a relationship. Sometimes it's toxic, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's exhausting. So that's how I kind of think about it.
It's inconsistent,
yes,
if you will.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, it's a massive roller coaster ride for your emotions, for your mental health, all the things.
All the things.
So I think
why did you choose this life? Or how did it choose you, really, honestly?
I would say probably undiagnosed ADHD is one of them.
Really, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you like doing all the things. I think so too. I have the same thing.
All the things, and you thrive in the chaos of it all.
Which is a talent, because many people, I'd like to say, will crumble under pressure or chaos. But it's like you're able to compartmentalize in a way that I think a lot of people can't.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
You're right. It's a strength. You're absolutely
right.
It
is, okay?
And I wonder if you can relate to me on this, but I think I love doing all these little bits when it comes to storytelling because I really enjoy the holistic view of creating and storytelling.
I love that.
Yeah, like when I got into this whole media game, it was very much, I want to be a host, right? Like I want to be an entertainment and lifestyle host. And I grew up watching Entertainment Tonight, which you were on for a long time. But that's how my mom learned English when I was a kid.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, so my dad was always at work and I would just be at home by myself as an only child, sitting there watching TV with my mom for her to learn English. And so over time, I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be talking to interesting people. And then, as you get older, you're in it. You're like, I'd like to learn other sides too.
Yeah.
And then as a freelancer, you realize you got to be able to wear many different hats to be employable and to be an asset.
And that's such fantastic advice. And actually, Roz Weston, who was a radio host and TV personality and just overall genius, gave me this piece of advice when I first started at Entertainment Tonight Canada as an intern. He had said, what do you want to do? And I gave the answer of like, I don't know, because as an intern, you're never supposed to say you want to be a host or a reporter.
Yeah.
Because same thing. I wanted the same thing, but I didn't want to say that out loud because it sounds terrible and you're going to be judged significantly for saying that. So I was like, I don't know. And he was like, he's like, don't lie to me. He knew right away. He's like, you want to be a host, don't you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to do that, you need to learn how to do everything else because it's going to make you great at that. And you're going to get other work because of it. He's like, know how to do lighting, know how to produce, know how to write, know how to direct. And like, I've always taken that. And in fact, like I led more with learning all the other things before even being forward facing, like on camera, because I knew that would make me better. And I don't know if you feel the same way. It's like, all of the other skill sets make you stronger actually at what you do because you're thinking about all the other things of how, because it really is all encompassing of telling a story.
100%. It makes you stronger. It makes you more confident.
Yes.
Like the camera doesn't lie. It picks up every little nuance, but it certainly does make you more confident in what you're there to do. I also think, when I first started, I'm not sure about like how full-time you were when you got into this game, but I was full-time. And then I got laid off. And in hindsight, I always look back and think, I'm so glad I had the foresight to say, let's do things holistically. Let's look at all of the areas when it comes to production. Because now that I have been a freelancer for so many years. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, it really did help me in the long run.
Yeah. We have parallel lives. I'm telling you, Bridget.
It's crazy.
Same thing. I got laid off, which I was like devastated about. And it came out of left field. Nothing bad happened. It was just like budgets. Yeah. And you're being slashed.
But you take it personally for a hot second.
Of course.
Oh my God, it's me.
I laid in bed for 2 weeks and stopped and cried. And then I was like, okay, I need to like figure my life out and fix this. But all that to say is and then it sort of snowballed. It was like one thing. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to commit to that full time, and maybe I can do this and then I can do that. And that's kind of how it turned into something. But if you were to tell me that I was going to be a freelancer 10 years ago, I'd be like, hell no. Hell no. There's no way. And there's pros and cons. Like let's talk about that. What is your favorite thing about being a freelancer?
I can say that one of my favorite things about being a freelancer is being able to work on so many different types of projects with so many different types of creatives. Like it freaks my freak being in a position where I'm always meeting new creatives.
Yeah.
And you get to be inspired by how they view the world, how they critically think. And it always leaves me in awe, and I never take that for granted.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
what about
really, really
you?
nice. And the amazing thing too is like you travel a lot for your work too. So that's kind of the beauty of what you do as well. It allows you to, see different places in the world and explore different cultures, learn how people live. And that's one of my favorite like parts of like, I'd say education that they can't write about that you learn in this job and being a freelancer and traveling.
Absolutely. And a lot of times I always say when you're a freelancer, you got to put in the work to get work.
Yes.
And a lot of the times that comes from social media. You got to put out work on social media to stay relevant, to stay creative. And when you're doing that, it's very isolating. It's a very lonely kind of endeavor and position to be in. So whenever you find yourself in a place where you can meet new people, thrive off the same creative energy and learn from their mistakes or learn from their successes, I find it such a gift in your growth and evolution.
For sure. Talking about putting your own content out, is that advice that you would give to someone who is like looking to get into this? Because I often tell people that, honestly, truthfully, I'm like, your generation, I say younger than myself, is like so lucky that you have access to shoot, produce, film, direct, post, like share your content. We didn't have that like growing up. Like it wasn't the same thing. It was just starting. So to have that access, I'm like, this is the best practice and like way to kind of build your brand, because you yourself, even though you were freelancing and working for different people, you're your own brand at the end of the day.
Yeah. Which is kind of scary and daunting for a lot of us to think about, right?
And I said it really scary too. You're your own brand.
Yeah, figure yourself out. Because a lot of people are like, oh shit, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Like I gotta figure out my personal brand now?
Yeah. What does that mean? How am I? Yeah. How did you figure that out?
It's like a Zoolander moment. Who am I? So that's like very daunting. But for me, I think it was an interesting journey because when I started, leaning into my quote unquote personal brand, it was a really interesting chapter in my life where I had just gotten laid off for the first time. I had just left a 7-year relationship.
Wow.
Which, that's a long time to be with somebody, but this was during a very, pivotal moment of my upbringing. This was like 20 to 27 years old. This is, you're growing up.
Yeah.
So it really was a moment of who am I? So I took to Instagram, which was still a baby at that time, as like this visual diary, just sharing my journey of figuring life out on my own for the first time.
I love that.
And that's kind of how things started. So the intention of that was just to figure myself out. It was a creative outlet. And then it quickly just turned into me fine-tuning my personal brand because I was fine-tuning who I was as an individual.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So it was like I wasn't intentional about it, but I was at the same time, if that makes sense.
It was like almost like helping you to discover yourself.
Yeah.
Like the platform helped you discover where you're going and who you are.
That's it. And so like just chatting with students now in this space or people who are interested in building their personal brand, I always encourage them to find a platform. Don't feel pressure in doing it all. Going on TikTok, going on,
Yeah.
Instagram, on YouTube, and Substack. There's so much. Choose one that really speaks to you and just start there.
Yeah.
And you don't always have to post the content that you create. Do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But really lean into what it is that you enjoy talking about and let it go from there, because it really starts with that. What do you enjoy talking about?
Totally.
Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to keep doing it.
100%. That's why I started this. I was like, I need to find something that I enjoy talking to people about. And it has to resonate. I think a lot of people get caught up in how things are going to be received. But what
Absolutely.
people forget, and what I honestly lose sight of, and I try to remind myself of, is people see your passion come through when you're really passionate about what you're doing. And that's how you're going to grab people, or how people are going to gravitate towards you, is when you put your heart into it.
Yes.
Right? It's not just about people pleasing and everyone's doing videos like this and everyone's talking about this and I have to do this, because I feel like a lot of build people think is trend based. But if you want to build yourself, you really have to think about things a little bit differently through a different lens.
Exactly. It's so true. Think of how many interview type shows or series there are online.
Yeah.
And then you see certain ones that really stand out because they're just doing it their way.
Right.
I just watched another episode of Subway Takes. And I was like, Subway
Yeah.
Takes, I forget his name. But
Really, really good.
it's so great.
Yeah.
It's so simple and it's so genius, but it's another interview series.
It works.
It's on a Subway. It works.
And that's the thing, is everyone has their own things, whether it's on a Subway, eating hot chicken wings,
Yeah.
or whatever. There's so many different ways to do things. But at the same time, and we were talking about this before this even started, there's room for it all. There's room for everyone. And sometimes as a freelancer, I don't know if you feel like this, but you work so hard to solidify these relationships and gigs, and people are always trying to take things from you, or, choose me instead of this person, or there's this competitiveness to being a freelancer, because it's especially in Canada, I feel because the industry is so much smaller than it is, let's just say, in comparison to the US. But here's the thing, and I've said this for years, there's room for everybody.
Everyone.
There is room. There is a niche market for everybody. There's room for everybody to be celebrated, to be able to do what they do. And it sometimes, though, gets a bit draining when you're constantly having to, I don't want to say defend your brand or yourself, but it's kind of is like that.
Yes. Entrepreneurship and freelancing is a huge test, I think, constantly to your mental health, your emotional intelligence, how you navigate the world. It's tough. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It's really challenging. And if you're constantly focused on your competition and you're constantly focused on the scarcity of the opportunities out there, you're just going to make the journey that much harder.
Totally.
And what a disservice to yourself in your journey, right?
Totally.
So I just constantly think
it's the scarcity mindset. That's
a
to
scarcity
think like
mindset.
that, you're actually going to not attract opportunity and lose on things, or things won't come your way, because you're always afraid of kind of holding, I hate to use the word, but it's the desperation of holding on to what you have, or trying to reach for something that really isn't yours,
That's it. You're forcing it. But like you said, we live in such a special time where really anything is possible.
Anything
You
is
created your own
possible.
series. I was able to create my own as well during the pandemic. You just have technology, resources like never before. So if, I don't know, if we speak to a certain cohort who's interested right now in creating their own opportunities, I really want them to know that it's easier now than it was when you and I started.
true.
Oh my gosh.
It's way easier now.
It's way easier. You have one device that can do it all versus when we started, it's literally
I
trying to
did
get
tape to
scrappy.
tape editing when I first
Yeah.
learned in TV, which is the OG old.
Way OG. And that wasn't even that long ago.
I know.
Yeah.
It went just over 10 years ago, maybe?
Years ago. So just knowing that the timing has never been better. It's never been easier take a hold of it.
Take
Like
a hold of
focus
it.
on your journey and forget about everyone else's.
Yeah, and I don't think, especially in this field of work, there is no one way direction of what you
Never.
need to do to get to where you do want to be. Like, and that's what seems a bit daunting and maybe confusing and stressful for a lot of people. But here's the thing, like, celebrate the fact that there isn't one road. Like, there isn't a specific test that you need to do to graduate to become this, like you can do a million different things. You can explore different things. You
Yeah.
also can work for different people. You don't need to work for one corporation to like be in media. That's
crazy.
not the case anymore. And I think, and I argue like more and more people are trying to be freelance because they don't want that,
Yeah, I was recently at an event and I was on the panel. It was all about personal branding. It was wonderful. Myself and 3 other women in different facets of media. And afterwards, we had a Q&A session. We're just mingling with everybody. And someone said to me, because I had talked about my time on breakfast television, which I'd love to get into afterwards if
Yeah,
you have
we
time
can,
with yours.
for
'Cause,
sure.
Again, see, so much in common.
So much in common.
But I wasn't there for very long, a hot minute. And then I turned down a full-time position. And afterwards, this woman was like, wow, I'm surprised to hear that you turned that down. Like, yeah, most people would want that money and security. And I thought it was so presumptuous because I just thought that's such a narrow way of thinking. You have no
Totally.
idea what freelancing actually, and
Freelance, I'm going to say for me, it was significantly more lucrative than it was to have a full-time gig.
agreed.
Yeah.
And I wish I said that to her. I just immediately thought, whoa, that's so presumptuous to think that that's more lucrative than
Yeah.
freelancing. Because I think when you're so used to a certain way, you don't see the bounty on the other side of things.
For sure. And I also think people place value on different things, Bridget. Like,
Sure.
for example, like security, the job security, knowing that you are showing up at this time, your day ends at this time, you have someone to report to, you have benefits, all the things. Like that, some people place like a monetary value on having that
Totally.
rather than kind of figuring that out for yourself.
100%.
And that's what I'd say is like a pro and a con is like security wise, like you're in charge of your own destiny. And to me, it's a pro because I like to bet on myself rather than other people because I know like my own work ethic that I would work my ass off to
Yes.
to make money to get the job done or whatever I need to be. But also like I'm in a place where I don't have kids right now. I'm only responsible for myself. So the security isn't a thing. Like I feel like I could take that risk, so to speak,
Absolutely.
to build what I needed to, what I have built so that I could make more money,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just think it's really fascinating that there's still certain misconceptions about freelancing, going out of your own this day and age when it's just so popular and it's so common. But yeah, pros and cons to it all. I'm a huge fan of it. I know that we talked about an event recently where you're like, I love it, but I don't know if I'll do this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's tiring also.
It is.
Like
Oh my God, it is. Let's not forget about
the
that.
grind is like a real thing. Like it's really tiring looking out for yourself all the time. Like you have to plan for your vacations, like when you want to take time off because you're not getting paid when you take time off. Like things like that. Or like you were saying earlier, like social media is a full-time job to post every day. I'm so behind right now and it kills me. But then I don't want to like inundate people with like, look at me and the million things that I've done. Like,
Right.
but like all this is nonstop. It's just nonstop thinking about all of it.
Don't you just want to turn it off?
Yeah.
Don't you just want to look at
How
a wall
do you
sometimes?
turn it off? Well, you seem to have it figured out. Like, do you have it figured out? How do you turn off? Or do you create like boundaries for yourself?
So I'm so hard on boundaries these days
Yeah.
because I went through a pretty interesting mental health episode 5 years ago during the pandemic from
really?
being so overwhelmed with it all. Yeah, like the whole idea of I still subscribe to the idea of you got to put in work to get work as a freelancer for sure. But at what cost? So I was doing too much. I was just putting out too much content, and I was doing a lot of it on my own to stay relevant. And then this
Yeah.
was during a time too where we were so uncertain of what was happening the next day during lockdown that I was like, I don't know. Oh my God, am I going to find work tomorrow? Who knows? I'm going to say yes to it all. So it came crashing down on me, and that's when I was like, okay, I really need to get off my phone. My phone was really doing a disservice to my mental health. So
Really?
yeah,
What
I'm really
was
big on
there like a
boundaries.
particular moment? Like what was the moment
Yeah,
of
this
realizing that?
was, gosh, which lockdown was this? It was my least favorite one,
God.
Nicole. We had so many. I think it was the second one. And I went back to therapy twice a week because, oh my God, it was just so bad. I couldn't even walk into a room with the lights on with a mirror because it brought back a lot of childhood trauma of being bullied and teased. So this was during anti-Asian hate, George Floyd, and I was addicted to my phone. I was
Yeah.
constantly searching for videos and content and I was watching it all. And my therapist said, you had something called secondary traumatic stress. And
Wow.
it's the stress that you take on from other people's suffering, which makes
Interesting.
sense.
Totally.
So
And that's all we were seeing at that
all we were
time, right? Which
seeing.
can be super overwhelming. I'm sorry you went through that.
Oh my gosh. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. It was
Yeah.
just, we were inundated with it. And now with research, knowing that big tech wants us to be addicted to their platforms, they're constantly feeding us negative news because it's human interest. And then once you're down that rabbit hole, that algorithm gives you more. Like, so it's really out of our
Yeah.
control, but in our control at the same time.
Totally. You need to know when to put your phone down and recognize that. But like you said,
Mhm.
it's really hard to do that when you're so caught up in it and it is your job. It's
Your
not even like it's
job.
like a hobby that you're then being exposed to this, but for your job, you have to be in the know of what's going on. So you're
That's
being
it.
inundated even more.
You have to be in the know, but I was caught up in the, I have to also be really accessible. And after that, I was like, no, I don't. And I really don't think it's made a massive impact, but I set parameters for myself. So, you can in your settings, you can set a certain amount of time that you can use the app.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, you can't. So I changed those settings. I don't let myself go on my phone after dinner. It doesn't matter what time I
I
have
love
dinner.
that.
And like sometimes I have dinner at 10, sometimes I have 6. But I'm like, you know what? No, if I need to get in touch with people, I can turn on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just certain boundaries that I put on myself now that's allowed me to separate church and state, who I am,
Yeah.
in work, and then who I need to be in order to keep the engine going in work, outside of work.
Totally. That's
Yeah.
really important and something I definitely struggle with. And I'd say like as time has gone on, like I've tried to be a little, I feel less badly about like not answering an email back right away or
Yeah.
responding to messages. And it's not because I'm not grateful for the opportunity or feedback or, engagement.
No,
It's just like brain overload.
that's it. Like brain rot too.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are you with all the, are you on all the platforms?
I'm on all, I mean, I'm sure there are platforms I don't even know about, honestly.
That's true. That's
So I
probably
say that
true.
loosely, but like the major ones, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
And do you use it as a consumer and a content creator?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's how I get my news. That's how
know.
I know what's going on. That's where I research, but it's also where I post and
Yeah.
create. So it's like a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's funny from the outside, you don't see that stress,
Yeah.
that load
Yeah.
that you put on yourself. So you're handling it beautifully.
Thank you. That means
For
a
sure,
lot.
for sure. Because I think over time I was like, like you can tell that I was showing up not chill at all. I'm like, I just
I-
gotta pump the brakes.
I find that very hard to believe. And don't get me wrong, behind the scenes, I would even say this like just before actually I started this podcast, because there was a lot of obviously behind the scenes work that goes into it and prep and then it's something that's so close to you. So putting it out in the world is quite scary.
Totally.
That I had like a mental breakdown before I ironically released this, where I was like crying all the time. I was so high anxiety, like cortisol levels like through the roof. And it's like I just needed to like chill. It's like just stop worrying, let it go, put it out there, whatever happens, happens. But like, and then taking time away. And one of the things I did this summer was like vacate, like for reals. Like I put an out of office email on.
Love it.
And I was like, I'm going to work really hard beforehand so that I can like relax and shut off. And it was like, honestly, the medication that I needed because I hadn't had that separation for what felt like a very long time, like it was overdue. So balance is key, but hard.
You gave yourself permission.
Yeah.
That's really hard as a freelancer. I will also say, speaking of relationships and freelancing, it teaches you so much about yourself when you're freelancing. Like it really tests the relationship you have with yourself.
For sure. I think there's like strength in like, again, like boundaries, even negotiating, like, and seeing your worth. I think that's been a journey for myself, definitely being like, this job is worth my time. I'm worth this. I'm not going to lower myself for this. But also then there are opportunities where I feel like, you know, I will adjust maybe my rate because I do want to grow this relationship or see where this can go. It's like trusting in yourself, building that relationship with self and being like, okay, lead with your gut. If you feel like you want to do this, do this. And if you don't, it's not worth your time or money, then don't do it.
100%. A big thing, I mean, this is the old adage that I think of all the time because it comes up all the time. But the thing that I've learned to do is you don't ask, you don't get.
Yes.
You have to be confident enough in that. And think of
it's scary though sometimes.
Totally scary. But think of the amount of times you've asked for something as a freelancer and it hasn't been a no.
Yeah.
Either you negotiate or you get a yes.
Right.
But it's really, I find it a lot more encouraging when you can do it on your own versus back then when I was full-time. I felt more scared to ask for what I felt like I needed.
For sure, because you feel like your fate is in someone else's hands.
Yes, that's right? Exactly it.
Like it's very different. You're like, I don't know how this is going to be perceived or how I'm going to be represented or so on and so forth. And like when it's yourself, you're like, if I don't defend myself or if I don't represent myself, then it's never going to happen.
Who will?
Who will?
Totally. Yeah, that was just an aha moment. Yeah, it's empowering.
So true. That's so true. What else do you feel like you've learned about yourself?
What else have I learned about myself that I honestly, as cheesy as it sounds, every day is a school day.
Yeah, that's a great mentality to have.
Like in your lovely introduction, it's like you think you have all these years under your belt. It doesn't matter. Like it gives you experiences, but again, this industry is something that evolves so fast. It's hard to keep up, excuse me. Technology advances so quickly, you can't keep up. So it's what I've learned about myself is that I'm constantly learning. I constantly don't know. And you just have to figure it out. You have to be super solution oriented, analytical and open-minded to just failing and figuring it out.
Totally. It's a scary thing sometimes to feel like things are moving so fast and you're just having to play like catch up. But instead of, I think, like framing the mindset of catching up, it's like learning. Yeah. You're just constantly learning, where that's not always the case in some positions where you're kind of doing repetitive work, which there's nothing wrong. Because learning is uncomfortable, because when you learn, there's growth, and growth is uncomfortable because sometimes it works. And probably a lot of the time it doesn't.
Yeah,
honestly. But that's okay. Also, like, it's like, failing is okay. I don't know about you, but also being in media, I feel like people outwardly see failure, right? Mm-hmm. It's very public when you fail at something. So with that, it's very scared, where it's harder. You feel more disappointed maybe, and more of the not good enough.
Yeah.
Because so many more people are witnessing your failure. It's not just like a personal secret failure, you know?
How do you gauge what a failure is in your line of work and what you do?
That's a really good question. I think it changes, honestly, depending on what it is. Failure can mean, and this sounds so ridiculous, I hate saying this out loud, but I'm just being real and honest with you.
Yeah, give it to me.
Failure means like something doesn't get a lot of likes or engagement.
Yeah.
Failure means that you didn't get a call back for another job for the second year hosting something. Failure means critical feedback. Failure means that you reached out to someone and you didn't get an email back.
Yeah.
Like those are some of the things that for me, like, I mean, I take as failure for sure.
And I asked because I had this conversation with my husband recently, and I said similar things. And one of the things he brought up, which was kind of an aha moment where I'm like, okay, maybe I should kind of ease off a little bit on myself, was that these are things that you're deciding for yourself.
Yeah.
So like the likes and the engagement is very public when you post something, especially when you created it. It just has this personal attachment, whether you like it or not. It just
Totally.
does. So people might see, oh, you're not getting a lot of views. What does that mean? Does your work
Right.
suck? Are
Right.
you buying followers? Whatever that is,
Right.
right? But then the rest of the stuff is just things that you tell yourself that
Yeah.
you can't measure up to for some reason.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's a heavy load. You know, like
Totally,
that's
that you put on yourself
stressful.
at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
we
You're
gotta
the
take
one thinking about all those things.
take the pressure off, girl.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. But failure is a constant worry, I think, when it comes to putting personal things out there.
And we were talking about this a little bit earlier too, because with what we do, again, like with freelance multimedia journalism and just like personal branding,
Yeah.
it's personal.
So
All of it is
personal.
personal. Like in this, especially with lifestyle and entertainment,
Yeah.
it is like all creativity, which is personal to you. So it feels even heavier, which is why I think like, yeah, mental health is a real thing. And like, I definitely like in during COVID, I definitely struggled with it too, like because there were so many unknown things and I
Yeah.
was alone, but I was like trying to figure out how to make content when I couldn't go out to speak to people and do what I do, and like all these restrictions and changes, and it just becomes a lot. It's very overwhelming. It's very overwhelming. You need like a good circle of friends and family
100%.
and grounded like people around you to stay sane in this.
Yeah. And a therapist that just works for you.
Yeah.
Before we went on, like, do you have a good therapist?
Before we went on, I was like, Bridget, I need a good therapist. I'm like, you got anybody?
We're going to find you one. But those are all, I mean, it's a privilege to have one.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, it like really keeps the engine going to have people that you can talk to and trust. I don't want to, like, I hope we're not all doom and gloom about this because
but I
freelancing
think it's
is
just
so
real
great.
real. It's so great.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
so great. Like, look, like we get to do this.
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh, what a gift.
It's so nice, and I don't take it for granted, and I appreciate and really like. I don't know if you have these moments of like the pinch me moments of like, wow, I did that, or I'm here. Like this is so freaking cool, you know. But then yeah, there are. I think the reason why I wanted to talk about maybe the doom and gloom is because I think more people see all the glitz and glam
100%.
of it all and don't really understand like how hard it is.
It's so hard. And not to, like,
But it doesn't
say,
mean
like,
that you hate it. Like
No.
hard doesn't mean hate.
No.
Hard means it's constant, you know? Like it's doesn't stop. But there's also beauty in that too.
100%. And a reminder to us and other freelancers out there that like, we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Like,
we're doing it.
It's easy to think, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, what's my next deadline? What's the next pitch I got to make? What's the next podcast I got to report? What's next? What's next? That you really don't sit and savor the moment and savor the amazing opportunity that you're currently thriving in or you have coming up. It's just thinking, what do I got to do next? And that's such a disservice to yourself because you're not celebrating the wins.
Totally.
And so really, it's a reminder that we're doing hard stuff. It's not the hardest stuff out there because, you know, there's a lot of shit happening in our world.
I know.
But give yourself some credit.
It's so funny. I don't know if you've watched The Studio.
Oh
okay,
my gosh. They
that
deserve all the
episode,
historic wins.
right? Congratulations to them, killing it at the Emmys. And so I actually didn't see it until after the Emmys, and I was like, oh my God, it's winning all these things. I need to watch it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I needed a new series. I started watching it. So I'm like 3/4 of the way through, and I just watched the episode of where they're talking about the importance of jobs. He's going out with his, I don't want to like spoil anything, but anyway, it's comparing the medical field to the movie industry.
Yes.
And the importance of both and how both like need to exist and have importance in their own right. But yes, there's life-changing and life-saving and then not life-saving. And it was just so funny because I was like, wow, I couldn't relate to this more, sitting at a dinner table sometimes being like, yeah, what I do is important. I'm not saving lives, but it's still important. Entertainment is important.
In tough times, 100%. Like
you know?
Exhibit A.
Exactly.
You need an amazing show.
COVID is like, you know,
100%.
that was like, to me, like, it's like the greatest example of like entertainment being necessary because we had nothing else but bad news, hardship, sickness. And what did everyone turn to? Entertainment. I don't think that was like the highest. That's when like binge worthy became a word.
But even now, I meet people where they're like, it's tough out there.
Even now, I know it's
Everything's
true.
so expensive. It's hard to find jobs. Like,
Yeah.
so people might be spending more time on their phones or indoors. It's like, we need some comedy. We need some entertainment to kind of give us that opportunity to laugh.
For sure.
And that's needed. So not to diminish what we do, but I think it's important and it's okay to say, okay, yeah, we're not saving lives.
We're not saving lives, but you know what? We're providing entertainment, which makes people happy.
Enough is enough.
Which is honestly what I wanted to do in this field. Like I'll never forget, like in a lecture that I was in, we had a CBC journalist come in when I went to Ryerson, formerly Ryerson, now TMU, and I was so excited because I wanted to be a foreign correspondent when I first got into journalism.
No way.
Because I wanted to travel and help people and, tell stories across the world. And then the CBC reporter was a correspondent and she was just outlining, she's like, people sometimes are like clawing at your feet in a third world country and you can't do anything because you're supposed to be, a neutral outlet. And you really have to abide by like certain ethics and it's really difficult. Also, it's like a male-driven industry and all these things. I just never forget like walking out of that class being like, yeah, this is not for me.
Was that the turning point?
I was like, I was like crying with some of the stories that she was telling me about like children starving or like, so sick in front of her and bombs and all like you name it. This woman had seen it. And to me, it was like, and she said, you have to have a really thick skin. You have to be very strong. You have to have a very thick skin. And I was just like, I just don't have that in me. I'm like a mush suck. I'm like, so I want to provide entertainment. I'm like, we're going to talk about happy, stupid things. And, I'm going to make visually like cool things. And I don't want to be the person. I myself I don't think for my own mental health, knowing my own self, like I would be able to handle something like that.
That's fair. And
but there are people, but we need people like that, right?
100%.
That can do that. We need that. I just knew myself, like I wasn't capable of doing that.
And we need people like you to create entertaining content.
Thanks,
it's
Bridget.
true. And that made me think too. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about this whole idea that we all believe in is to stay in your lane. But that doesn't necessarily mean like constantly for the rest of your career and the rest of your life doing the same thing in order to be successful. That story just reminds me of there's a speaker on our rally program. His name is Muhammad Leela. I don't know if you've heard of him before. He is magical. He used to be a war zone correspondent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did it for many years. He was ABC and a few other networks. He's from here in Toronto and did very well in it. But it was one assignment where a gun was pointed to his head.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was on location. And I think that was his turning point in saying, I don't want to do this anymore like this. But instead of completely leaving the industry and what he does best, which is a journalist, he got into tech, storytelling.
Interesting.
So he created an app called Goodable, which is only good news.
I love that.
It's amazing. It took
That's
off.
so nice.
Yeah. And that's his main focus now and he speaks around the world, but Goodable has taken off as this positive headline app. It's great on Instagram too. If you don't follow it, I really encourage you to.
For sure.
But it's so encouraging because, he found success in this line of work, but then later realized, no, I can still do this work, but in a different way that works for me and where I am in my life right now.
I love that.
I know.
Like, evolution is huge.
Huge.
It's huge. And sometimes you feel like you're stuck and being committed to, this is my niche. This is all the things that the only thing that I can talk about. But you as a person grow. So why wouldn't you be able to change and like what you do then changes?
That's exactly it. Yeah. And being, I think, self-aware enough, emotionally intelligent enough to say it's okay to evolve and change what I'm doing. It's not a reflection of what you're capable of doing whatsoever and what you have been doing. Like give yourself the opportunity to change.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, Bridget, I am a little bit fearful of that because I don't know about you, but like I often think about becoming a mom one day, and that's something that I want. And there's like a part of me, and this is terrible to say out loud
Say it, girl.
again, but like there's a part of me that's like fearful of like, your job is going to change. Your audience is going to change because your priorities change.
Yeah.
And that's like a little scary.
But does change always have to be a bad thing?
No, I know. It could
Yeah.
open up like a whole new, set of opportunities and audience and community that is very
Totally.
different.
Totally.
But it's unknown. And
It's
again, the
unknown.
unknown is what is scary, is what you don't know.
Do you worry about the early stages of being a mom where you have to take time off?
Yes.
And then you're
Especially as a freelancer.
Oh, and as a woman, traditionally, when you take time off, that is not a bonus for you. That sets you back.
It does. I know we have progressed so much, and I don't want to shit on where we are at today and what women have fought for and have achieved in, rights and support. But it really is hard. And as a freelancer, that is something that I constantly think about is I need to save this amount of money to be able to take this amount of time off, number one. Number two, do I even want to take that time off? Because your career will suffer. You do get forgotten about a little bit, but it doesn't mean that it's forever. It just means that like you're in a chapter of like being in a different role. You have a different job at that point in time, and then you can go back to it. But it's scary. I think about it. I'm like, but then again, like, and I hear all my friends say this who have children, you only get this time with your kids once. So if that means that it puts you in another direction when you come back from work, so be it. Because that is what like I would care more about than the other side. I'm like,
Totally.
because it's so scary, I think, for so many people. And even in media, especially, just as a woman, it's just a lot of pressure.
It's so much
to
pressure.
have it all figured out, you know?
Thank you for being so vulnerable and real about this.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. And the concern is massive because you pour your heart and your soul and your energy, all of you, into this line of work. It looks easy. Like we talked about this earlier, from the outside, it looks easy, but behind the scenes, it is a commitment that you make to yourself.
For sure.
And so these worries are so valid and they're so common. I talk about them in therapy all the time. All the time. And what has gotten me through it in a more optimistic way lately is my therapist constantly reminding me that these are just thoughts.
Yeah.
They're based on zero facts for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, think of your thoughts as visitors. They come and go. Say goodbye
Love
when you're not
that.
really interested in them. But to worry about those thoughts right now, you're not worrying about the facts. So kind of save yourself the turmoil.
So I don't have a therapist, but I do have a spiritual healer.
Beautiful.
Shout out to Leanne, who's amazing.
What's up, Leanne?
She has said to me too, she's like, your brain works so hard. She's like, you need to like lead with your heart and where you're at and you're happy and everything is great. And you have like, she's like, I think your heart believes everything will work itself out, but it's your brain that tells your heart that it's not because of all the fear. And fear is just like a real driver when you are a freelancer and on your own and kind of in charge of yourself and what that looks like. So yeah, leading with the heart is necessary and something I'm definitely trying to do more of. But the fear is a real thing.
It's real.
Sure.
And it's not easy. Going with your heart is so not easy.
Because then you open yourself up to getting hurt and being disappointed. I try to remind myself too. It's like, if you got through that, then you can get through that. Then you can get through that. It's like, the proof is in the history of something as well. It's not bad to like look back on things and remind yourself of, I was there and I didn't think that I could get through that or do that. And I did, and everything's okay now. So
totally.
Yeah.
You just have to trust the process, as cheesy as it sounds. Something that always sits with me too. Somebody told me this years ago, and I just found it to be one of the most valuable pieces of advice. You can't make right decisions. You can only make decisions right.
Oh.
And think about that. So when you think, oh man, I want to have a family one day, but I can't decide whether it's going to be tomorrow or today because I don't have enough saved or I don't have like a steady job or whatever it is. And so you just never decide to do it because you
Yeah.
hold yourself back with these fears.
Yeah.
Think of all the decisions you've made up until this point, and it's worked out.
Yeah.
We don't give ourselves enough credit for how far we've come, for what we've achieved. And I think in large part it is constantly thinking about what's next. You know, what's the next video I got to make? What's the next growth look like? How many more followers do I need? How many more jobs do I need to secure? That you don't remember all the amazing accomplishments you've already made, that you can continue doing that.
Right.
We just have to trust ourselves enough to like lean in to all those big decisions in life.
Lean in.
Lean
That's
in.
what Leanne had said to me too. She's like, Nicole, you just need to like lean in a little bit more.
Just a little bit. Sheryl Sandberg, what's up?
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that. I really love that.
Just trust yourself in making those decisions, and whatever that looks like afterwards, you're going to end up making it right.
I hope.
If not, I'm going to
Just
send you my
kidding.
therapist number, Tasha. She's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so Bridget, tell me about Rally. I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier. I want to hear all about it. And yeah, tell me what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, Rally was born during the pandemic too. Like, it's a very stressful time for all of us. And I really went through it. But so during this mental health crisis that I had, and I knew it was directly tied to excessive screen time, I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm an adult who works in this space, who uses my phone on a professional level, but I can't set boundaries on myself. What is going on with young people who are born into this? It was just a curious thing that I had. Obviously, had all the time in the world to do the research and went through a rabbit hole of finding out that we are at a youth mental health crisis right now, and it is very much tied to our screen time and social media. There is a comparative machine that are in young people's hands as soon as they get a cell phone.
Who are so vulnerable and impressionable.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
Like, their prefrontal cortex is still developing over time, and here they are with countless of strangers telling them who to be, who not to be, how to show up in this very complex world of ours. And so just think of the mental health impact that's having. According to our partners at Kids Help Phone, 1 in 2 teens right now say that they're going through mental health challenges.
Wow.
50% of teens. And so we can't ignore that number. And I sat on this idea for a while. My production brain, I just thought, wow, we really need an inspiring festival out there to really encourage young people to lean in to who they are, even if they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
You know, be courageous enough to find out without a phone in their hand.
Yeah.
Sat on the idea, met my husband, whose background is in conferences and events. He brought Collision to Toronto 7-8 years ago. And so I went to him, even though I was very reluctant to get into business.
That's a whole other conversation.
With friends and family. I'm like, yeah, that really does alter relationships a lot of times. But I said to him, do you want to do this with me? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So here we are in partnership with Kids Help Phone, Bell Let's Talk, and several other partners. Rally is taking place October 21st at Meridian Hall, and we're inviting thousands of teenagers and teachers for a free field trip. And it's a festival of inspiration for today's digital generation.
That's
all to
so
encourage
cool.
them. Yeah, to use technology more thoughtfully and to really experience what life can be like when you connect in person and when you can inspire each other in person.
I love that. How many years have you been doing this for?
This is our first year.
It's your first year.
Yeah. So it's been
Wow. So this has been a lot in the making.
a lot in the making.
How
We're very excited.
cool.
Yeah, we're just weeks away.
Oh my gosh. How are you feeling?
I'm honestly incredibly excited, nervous and worried every single day because I just want everyone to have a positive time, you know? I think maybe it's because we're getting older. I think about time a lot, how it's not infinite.
Yeah.
And so because I cherish my time and I value it, I really value other people. So I just want to make sure everyone from the attendees to the partners finds positivity out of this event and this day.
Well, I can tell you as 100%, they certainly will because you're setting that intention with this whole event.
Yeah.
And you setting that intention will only filter its way through all the decision making and all of the production that you have put into it and time and effort because that's been your priority from the get-go. So no doubt everybody will feel that.
I appreciate you.
It's true.
That means so much.
It's
yeah,
so
I
true.
hope so. It's a lot of thought is going into it. I mean, we
So
have
do you have different speakers like that are coming in? Like, what does the rally consist of?
So the whole day is based on 5 core themes. We have mental health and digital wellness, self-expression and identity,
Cool.
the future of work and technology, social impact and community, and digital citizenship and media literacy.
Love that.
So we have partnership activations sprinkled throughout 3 floors of Meridian Hall that have to
Wow.
tap into at least one of those 5 core themes. And then we have a 2-hour live stage show.
Cool.
And it's broken up into 5 chapters, which are those themes. And then within each chapter, we have different sessions and speakers. So in total, we have about 35 speakers and performers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
that's
really
amazing.
fantastic. And, we chose the name Rally because we're creating a movement. We really want to bring generations together from different industries who really recognize the problem and recognize the solutions that they can provide. Because if we continue normalizing this unregulated arena, this, lifestyle
Chaos.
of zero boundaries when it comes to our smartphones, who knows what's going to happen 20, 30 years from now, with the job market, the economy, climate change. Like it's young people are our future.
Yeah.
So it's really important for us to rally the right people, the right brands who believe in coming together to ensure that young people really are raised to be confident, courageous leaders.
I love
so
that.
the 2-hour show I'm really, really excited about because I'm producing it. And then my husband's
It's gonna be
responsible.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
I
have no
hope so. You got to come out if you're available
Well, I
on the
was just gonna
21st.
say, so tell me where can people get tickets, and or what is there an age group?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So timetorally.ca is the website that you can find out more information and to register. This is a field trip event. So it's for grade 9s to grade 12s, and we're encouraging teachers to be registering on the platform for free.
Cool.
Yeah, and this is honestly a big part of it is for security measures. We want to ensure that we're speaking directly to schools and that they can organize this. But all they have to do is organize mode of transportation, and then we'll take care of the rest.
Wow.
It's free access. Yeah.
That's
We want to make it as
fantastic.
accessible as possible.
That's so great. So have you been kind of all over the GTA, inviting? How have
it.
you gotten to reach everybody?
I'm so
too?
glad you're asking this because if we have
Just
teachers,
as a business, FYI, how do you even start thinking about getting everybody?
it's the biggest challenge so far has been getting in front of teachers because they're so busy.
For sure.
Educators are,
They
I
work
can't even,
so hard. It's
they
so
work
hard.
so hard and they're tasked with doing so much that I think just emailing them doesn't always get in front of
For
their
sure.
attention. So we've been doing all of it. It's really a 2-person job. We have some volunteers helping
It sounds
out.
like a 50-person,
Yeah.
100-person
Girl,
job.
it's
But
been
I'm sure you're making it with 2 people job, which is wild.
It's been a whole challenge. We've been our own publicists, so we did some press with media tours, which is amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, but really doing ads on Instagram, boosting ad assets, and just social media, trying to get the word out there, word of mouth with our friends and family.
Yeah.
So it's all of the things that we're trying to do, but it's great. We have close to 2,000 registrations now.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
that's
really thrilled.
fantastic.
Totally. And so we're just going to continue pushing it along until October 21st. And we're doing the best that we can. And just going back to what we talked about before in terms of staying in your lane, I've been thinking a lot about that lately, where you might think, what's an entertainment lifestyle host and producer doing here, with digital wellness and kids' mental health? You know what? I constantly think, why not? Why not? Don't box yourself in because I sat on this idea for 4 years thinking, who am I to do this? But in doing this the past year, realizing, why not me? I have the network. It's still a production brain. I'm storytelling, but just in a different way. And I'm really glad that I chose to lean into that. Otherwise, we've never done this before. There's nothing like it out there. And we really believe that it's going to positively impact a lot of teens.
I think so too. And I definitely see this growing, possibly
Thanks, Nicole.
traveling across Canada,
so.
maybe even further, maybe making it more than once a year.
We hope
There's so
so.
many opportunities for growth and education and building, like you said, awareness around this. And that's what starts change. So
That's it. Yeah. So I really encourage, we haven't, I feel successful because we've just rallied so many incredible people and brands so far who want to champion this cause. but we haven't had it yet. So I don't know if it's going to be a success
I
per
do.
se.
It has your name on it. It will.
I appreciate
That's like
you.
a no-brainer.
Appreciate you. But like in this current position, I really still encourage people to, if they feel a calling to do something, even though it's outside of their day-to-day, their realm of expertise, whatever it is, if you feel that pull and you can't deny it, please do something about it.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah. I say that to people all the time too. Like, I understand you have to make a living. Like, I would never discount that. Like, you need to make money to live, unfortunately, in this world. That's just how it works. But following if what you make money at isn't your passion yet, figure out a way that you can still fulfill that part of your soul. Because if you let that die, you as a human will never operate the way that you should, or reach what you're like capable of even. So it's like, even if you have to do the money-making job, still figure out a way to grow your passion so that can be your money-making job. It might not be right away, but it doesn't mean that you should let that passion die, because there is a way. You might have to learn, and it may take time and growth and other skill sets or education that you have to like foster into it while you make the money.
Yeah.
But like, both are possible.
I couldn't have said it better. Both are possible. And I think when you lean into things that you're super passionate about, I don't necessarily think it has to be the main money driver for you to keep doing it or excel in it.
Yeah.
But think of the joy that's just immeasurable that keeps your engine going for whatever reason. Like, there's just so many other values in that.
For sure.
Shouldn't be dismissed.
The joy, the community, the relationships, like there's so many things that can come out of that it's not for nothing.
It's not for
sometimes
nothing.
when people put $1 or you're not making money from something, they're like, it's a waste of your time. But it's not, because it's actually fulfilling other things that make you who you are. And that's just as important as making money. So
it's the holistic approach, if you will.
Yes, holistic approach to life.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Brigitte, for being here. This has been so nice. You have to come back.
It's been so cup filling to sit in the seat, to have this conversation with you. I can't thank you enough for having me.
Thank you. And best of luck. Rally's going to be amazing. One more time, drive to the website for more information, or people, maybe even sponsors, somebody who is listening who wants to get involved.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Timetorally.ca. That's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yay. Good luck.
Thank you so much.